First item, adoption of the agenda. Be it resolved that the agenda for the May 17, 2022 meeting be accepted as presented with the addition of an email from Malcolm McKellar on the order of communication and a requirement for payment from Frank Jones under general business. Somebody please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Corey, all in favor? Be it resolved that the minutes of the April 12, 2022 regular meeting of council be approved as circulated. Somebody please move that. Councilor Hatch, seconder. Councilor McDonald. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Be it resolved that the minutes of electronic May 5th, 2022 special meeting of council be hereby approved as circulated. So please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Corey, discussion. All in favor? Under finance, be it resolved that May 9th, 2022 general accounts payables being checks number 5669 to 5793 in the amount of $524,074.57 be hereby approved. Somebody please move that. Councilor Hatch, seconder. Councilor Corey, discussion. All in favor? Great. Be it resolved that direct deposit 212 being staff payroll for the period April 4th to April 15th, 2022 in the amount of $13,080.54 be hereby approved. Councilor Corey moves it, seconder. Councilor McDonald, discussion. All in favor? Great. Be it resolved that direct deposit 213 being staff payroll for the period April 18th to April 29, 2022 in the amount of $12,940.29 be hereby approved. Would you please move that? Councilor Hatch, seconder. Councilor Corey, discussion. All in favor? Okay. Be it resolved that direct deposit 214 being staff clothing allowance in the amount of $136.06 be hereby approved. Please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Corey, discussion. You want to tell us what was that on?
I forgot to include it as secure spending, so we did an extra file for it.
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that direct deposit 217 being staff payroll for the period May 2nd to May 13, 2022 in the amount of $13,692.44 be hereby approved. Councilor Hatch moves it, seconder. Councilor McDonald, discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved to direct deposit 216 being council indemnities for the month of April 2022 in the amount of $6,773.52 be hereby approved. So please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Corey, discussion. All in favor? Carried. Utility account be resolved at the May 9th, 2022 utility accounts payable being checks number 852 to 868 in the amount of $21,472.43 be hereby approved. Councilor Hatch moves it, seconder. Councilor McDonald, discussion. All in favor? Bank reconciliations be it resolved that the bank reconciliation for the month of April 2022 be approved as previously circulated. So please move that. Councilor Corey, seconder. Councilor Hatch, discussion. All in favor?
Did we miss the statement of revenue and expenditures?
I did so. I will get that now.
Okay.
Be it resolved that the statement of revenue and expenditures report to April 30th, 2022 be received as presented. So please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Hatch, discussion. All in favor? No, I got it. Okay, that moves us into delegations, and we have with us today, I'll let you.
Amy Genro. And this is part of their presentations when they do a reassessment to give council an idea of what the impact is going to be. And we have received the documentation. It's sitting on your desk. So we could let Amy walk us through it.
Perfect, thank you. So like I said, these are just our tax impacts. We do them every reassessment just to let you guys know what's happening with the changes to assessment for the reassessment. So we'll start on page 1 here. So gives you an overview of what the reassessment for 2023 is going to be. 2023 assessed values will be updated to a reference date of April 1st, 2021 from April 1st, 2018. The property assessments were last updated in 2020. We added an extra year onto our reassessment. It was supposed to be every 2 years in 2022, but due to COVID, we extended it to 2023 just to see, allow an extra year for any impact from COVID in the market to get it recorded sooner rather than later. So we're going back to 2 years. So the next one will be in 2025 again. So we do province-wide reassessments every 2 years, like I said, just to promote the equity, fairness, and general ratepayer understanding. It helps everybody understand a little bit more when you do it more frequently. Page 2, the reassessment reflects how the property values have changed since the last reassessment in 2020. Changes can be a combination of changes to supply and market, or supply and demand in the real estate, new construction, and improvements to existing properties. So the province's taxable assessment increased by 8.5 billion or 10%. That's including the city of Winnipeg. If we take out the city of Winnipeg, it was 8.8% was an increase. Your municipality's taxable assessment increased by 1 million, and that's based on your portioned assessment. So this table here is based on your portioned assessed values, not your taxes. It shows what's changing, how the assessments are changing based on the different classes. So single family residential is actually going down 6.7%. The condos are going up 14%. Farm is going up 5.3. Your commercial and industrial is going up 2.2. Institutional, which is your schools, churches, rinks, and halls, is going down 0.4. Your pipeline for oil and gas is going up 6.3. And railways are going up 7.4. So total overall for your municipality is a 0.5% change in the assessments. So that means that if the assessed value increases, the mill rates go down, and if assessed values decrease, then the mill rates go up, assuming no changes to your budgets. So on page 3, again, assessment increases and decreases don't necessarily result in an increase or decrease in the taxes. The taxes, as you guys know, the mill rates are set by council for you guys for the municipal levy, the school division, and the province set the other 2 portions of it. The impacts do not take into account other taxes levied on part of your municipality, so any local improvements or special levies, we don't include those in these impact reports. The impacts have been calculated using the general municipal levy. So we use the baseline, the municipal tax, determined by applying the 2021 mill rates against the 2022 assessment to kind of estimate what the municipal levy would be. And then we looked at the school division special levy and the education support levy as well. On page 4, this table illustrates the property taxes of each class of property in municipality and how they'll be impacted by the reassessment of 2023. Again, this is based on no change to the budget or the mill rate, and it's a gross tax, not a net. And it doesn't include farmland school tax rebate or any LUD levies. And then the graph below is just another way to represent it, showing kind of how many properties would approximately see an increase if there was no changes and how many would see a decrease. Page 5, this table illustrates how the municipal levy of each class of your property is impacted. This is the municipal levy only, not including the school division. So in this case, properties with an assessment increase less than the 0.5%, which is your municipal average, should see a municipal tax decrease, and any properties that are increasing more than the 0.5% should see a tax increase. Page 6 just is kind of giving you guys some options of how you moderate your tax impacts. So you have your phase-in tax increases and decreases that you can use, varying property class portion percentages, establishing a tax credit program, and other municipal tax tools. Those are all the different ways. I mean, your guys' municipality is not getting impacted too bad, so you probably won't have to worry about any of these too much. And then the next portion is just a list of all the provincial tax credits available and being used. So there's the education property tax rebate. This is changing. This is kind of the way they're changing the education, it's a little confusing right now, trying to figure it out. But there is the rebate, so for the education school, they're getting the credit plus a rebate, same as last year, but the percentage amounts are changing this year. The farmland school tax rebate is also changing. So for 2022, it's 50%, and then for 2023, it's being reduced to 40%, to a maximum for 2022 of $3,125 and $2,500 in 2023. We do have a new kind of, not product, but just thing that we're trying to roll out for where we're trying to go more digital with things, so less paper is getting mailed out and stuff. So we do have here under the informing the public about reassessment, there's the provincial website, but there's also this My Property MB that ratepayers can go to, and you can go onto it. There's actually a way that you can create an account and sign into it. And it's going to kind of work like the CRA does, where you're going to get an email notifying you that anytime there's a new document in there. So you can get your assessment, your reassessment notices through this online program now and stuff. So they're trying to, we're trying to encourage people to sign up for this and get their notices and any information through this online instead of mailing out so much paper. There is another way that we're doing reassessments, we do this every year, is we're doing open houses. We don't have an actual physical open house scheduled for this municipality. However, we are doing virtual open houses. I mean, we can be contacted at any time. If anybody has any questions, phone the office, we're there. But we are going to be doing a virtual open house as well as the in-person open houses. So every second Thursday, starting on June 2nd, and ending on July 14th. So from 4 to 7 p.m., somebody from our office will be available. We can do it by phone, we can do it through a Teams virtual meeting, however the ratepayer wants to do it. We will be available that way in the evening for anybody that has questions that can't phone us during the day or whatever. For those, however, we are requesting that they be set up by appointment only, so that if nobody wants one, we don't have somebody sitting there all evening waiting for somebody to call or show up through a virtual. So they can, if you have anybody asking any questions, just call our office by 4 o'clock the day before, and we'll set up an appointment to meet with them. Like I said, whether it be by phone or through a virtual Teams online or something, if they have any questions and they can't be reached through the day. The appeal deadline for your municipality this year is October 3rd. The border revision date is October 18th at 1:30. Your assessment notices are being mailed out today, so within the next couple of days, there may be some inquiries.
October 18th, what's election day?
26th.
Okay.
Okay, so it works perfect.
Thinking October 18th. Getting close to election.
So, yeah, so like I said, you may be starting to get some phone calls and inquiries in the next couple of days. Like I said, feel free to send them to us too. We don't have to wait just for specific days. They can call at any time and we'll answer any questions. Oh yeah, the other thing, 2023 assessments, they're just preliminary at this point right now because we're still working on making any revisions and stuff. Like I said, we could do our addeds and our reductions and stuff. So these are just the preliminaries, and your amended assessment roll will be delivered in the fall. That'll be your final, as you guys know, that'll be the final values for 2023.
I asked for this before, the pipeline, the calculation of their taxation, and because it's very different than homeowners or farm or whatever the case may be. We haven't received it. I wouldn't mind if we can see how that is calculated.
Okay, so you want to know?
Yeah, it's obviously, I think it's called personal property.
Yeah,
even
personal property. Okay, calculation for the personal property.
As to how that taxation goes. Because last time on the assessment it went down. This time it's gone up, which is good to see. The other thing that is that once again our farmland's getting a boost in assessed value.
Yeah,
I'm taking that as still market value they're dealing with, and it's obviously going up. But I'm also hearing, you know, if you listen to the news, you hear that the homeowners, households or homes are selling for a higher value now than ever were,
Mhm.
and yet it's going down in this. So
Mhm.
do you have anything you can,
No, I was actually kind of surprised by that too, that some of these values were going down as well, but yeah, they said we look at all the sales from, April 2nd, 2018 up to April 1st, 2021. We take all those years into consideration, and we look at all the sales that have occurred within that time frame to kind of figure out, and we base it on, like certain neighborhoods. I mean, this municipality, there's not as many, obviously. It's a lot of the areas sell very similar, and then we break it down to like the different qualities and types of construction and stuff, and yeah,
so this turns out to be a net zero change in taxation.
Yeah.
Based on our budgets, but it's just a matter that it's a shifting again.
yeah, just some
The
shifting
farm-
around within the different classes.
Anybody else have questions?
I noticed the condo co-ops are up 14 and the single residential are down
Mhm.
6. Like, I don't know, I just view that as both residential. Is there a reason why there was such a?
I think out here, I mean, you guys don't really have very many condos. I think it's just that one right over here. They were just they sold so much lower than the single families before, and now they're just kind of,
So it's
They
sort of a
just-
local market, it isn't
Yeah.
like the whole?
no, we're not looking at everything in whole. We're just looking at the sales that occurred within those condos there. Yeah, we're not comparing it to,
No, I
anywhere
didn't know
else.
if it was sort of a general market
yeah,
shift. Okay.
Anybody else?
Amy, some of the digital methods, is
Yes.
that still going to be dependent on the passage of bill, whatever it is, or this is up already?
this, my Manitoba, or my property Manitoba, it's up already.
But there is something else pending with respect to being able to get your assessment notice sent digitally rather than by paper, but I thought there was a bill pending on it.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I can check into
No,
it,
that's
but yeah, no, we were just, yeah, this is up and they're gonna be working on it now, so,
You're talking about one that's in the legislature right now?
Yes.
That's
yeah.
being stalled? All right, that's everything. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. It was
Appreciate you
short
coming
and
out and giving us
sweet,
a breakdown.
Yeah, and like I said, if you guys have any questions at any time, or anybody phones in or contacts you guys, we're available at any point, so.
For appeals, first step is still that they should contact
Yes.
your office and get an understanding of
Yeah,
why the change, or
yeah, try to contact us first, and so lots of times we can help out before it gets to that appeal process, so. We try to only if we can't get anywhere, then I recommend going to the appeals, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys could, that would be great.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with your other ones.
Yeah, this was an easy one. Hopefully I'll go this well. Have a good day.
Okay,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Bye.
But be it resolved that a presentation from Amy Denbaugh, Provincial Assessment Department on the tax impact with respect to reassessment be received. Can I please move that? Councilor McDonald, seconder, Councilor Corey. All in favor? Carried. Okay, be it resolved that the regular meeting of council be recessed to allow council to hold public hearings to receive representations from any person who wish to make them in respect to conditional use and minor variation applications. So please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder, Councilor Hatch. All in favor? Carried. Okay.
Okay, so first with our public hearings, and I would note that we've had no phone calls or representation on any of them. So the first one is conditional use number 3. It is to do with the subdivision that council approved at its last meeting, and this would be to allow for a non-farm dwelling on an ag general zone for Mr. Dixon.
Okay, and there's nobody here to speak to it. Whereas all representatives in regard to conditional use application number C3/22 to allow a non-farm dwelling in an ag agricultural general zone located on northeast quarter 13819 WPM Dixon have been dealt with. Therefore, be it resolved that the public hearing can be concluded. Can you please move that? Councilor McDonald, seconder, Councilor Corey. All in favor? Carried.
Okay, the next is a minor variation, and again, I would remind council that under normal circumstances, I have authority to approve this, but it was included in the recommendations on the subdivision for Mr. Dixon. And all it is increasing his parcel size from 10 acres to 11 acres for his subdivided out portion.
Okay, once again, there's no representatives at the meeting. Whereas all representatives in regard to minor variation application number B5/22 to increase a non-farm parcel 10.0 acres to 11.0 acres for property located in the northeast quarter 13819 WPM Dixon have been dealt with. Therefore, be it resolved that the public hearing be concluded. Please move that. Councillor Hatch, seconder. Councillor Corey, all in favor?
And the last conditional use is to allow for a secondary suite to a primary dwelling. This is in the Ag General Zone. And again, we've had no concerns raised.
Okay. Whereas all representatives in regard to conditional use application number C4/22 to allow a secondary suite to the principal dwelling in the Agricultural General Zone located on southwest quarter 5818 WPM Hargraves have been dealt with. Therefore, be it resolved that the public hearing be concluded and council resume its normal order of business. Right, please move that. Councillor McDonald, second, Councillor Corey, all in favor? Okay, that leaves you at communications.
It does. So under the order of communications, there were several from the Association of Manitoba Municipalities. They are dated April the 7th, the 8th, the 10th, 2 from April the 13th, April the 25th, April the 26th, April the 29th, 2 from April the 4th, and on one of those I would note it is with respect to the June district meetings, and Norma will need to know in the next little while who is interested in going. And the Association of Municipalities, May the 9th. We have information from Caltech Manitoba Land Surveying on a monument replacement. Information from Cool Green Solutions on green energy from waste. Community Futures have provided information on a new youth program called Side Hustle Micro Grants. MLA Cliff Cullen provided information on the Queen's Platinum Jubilee nomination, so if anybody has anybody in mind, we would need to get that put forward. Federation of Canadian Municipalities provided information April the 11th, the 19th, the 25th, May the 2nd, and May the 9th. We have information from Manitoba Access Awareness Week. They have a webinar that's coming up on June 2nd, if anybody is interested in viewing that. Manitoba Association of Municipal Emergency Coordinators are holding their annual conference. And I'll check with Wendy Peterson to see whether or not it's something that she is available to attend or not, and it may not be this year. Manitoba Public Insurance is going to be conducting a speed observation study in this municipality. We have correspondence from Mr. McKellar on a summary of snow clearing. I would like to address this because I will be honest, it was on my direction that snow clearing in front of the office in Nesbitt not take place. And the reason for that was twofold. First of all, the office is closed, and we did have people who were still attending that office parking out front and then phoning us saying, why are there no staff here? We relayed the fact that that office was going to be closed and that this would be our office of contact. With some of our special levies, we wanted to ensure that people were not dropping stuff at the Nesbitt office. And in addition to that, we also had the fact that it does still need to be cleaned up with respect to asbestos. So even for the public works staff use, we're not encouraging it to be used on an ongoing basis. We could have you sit right there, Mr. Hargraves. So that was the reasoning for that. The comment about the fact that the equipment was outside, it's interesting that on the day that those photos were taken, our staff actually reached out to Darcy with an indication that somebody was around taking pictures of them as they moved the equipment outside so that they could watch it. So I'm not sure exactly what the problem was with that, but that is that discussion. If council wants me to, I'll follow up with Mr. McKellar on that, because like I said, that was my direction, not to clear the snow drifts, because I wanted it obvious that that office was closed. With respect to the added communication, oh, yeah.
Joni, I wonder if we should just have that same conversation with just inform him, and, just so he's free, so he
Yeah.
gets that same information we did.
Yes, I will send him out documentation on that.
Thank you.
The next one was with respect to the rural internet, and I wasn't sure if council wants me to attempt to correspond back on this one. The link that he's providing is funding that's going to be available apparently for Skylink around Lake Manitoba. I certainly haven't heard of anything where the feds were providing funding in this municipality in particular, excuse me. And also at the public hearing, if council would recall, there was some very good communication on the benefits of doing fiber optics versus Skylink. And that is what council based your decision on. I can relay that information again. The documentation, I believe, is still up on the website if you wanted to go and take a look at it, but I could forward that as well.
Save a comment on that. It's probably one of the comments I've had is how come people don't have their RF now? One customer right on number 10 highway.
Yeah, we have,
And I guess I just wonder if we followed up in the recently with RF now and what their plan is.
I have. They had 15 people left on their list that they were aware of, and they have provided dates for the couple of people who had called in. We in fact contacted RF Now, and RF Now was going to reach out to them. So again, if anybody's got questions or concerns, the information I was provided for those individuals was that they all have their hookup in August. So
They were installing at my place yesterday, so they are in the area.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, if anybody does have any questions or comments, the best thing I could suggest is give RF Now a holler and just see what their proposed routes are and their supposed timeline. They ran into the same issue that everybody else has run into with the weather not cooperating overly well throughout the spring, and I don't know now whether the rain impacts some of their installation or not. Minister of Municipal Relations provided a letter on the municipal operating basket funding. Municipal Relations sent out 2 bulletins, one with respect to payment in lieu of taxes, so that's for education tax, and one with respect to audited financial statements that are required by June 30th. Nature Canada sent out information on World Ocean Day. The Oakland Colony has provided their formal withdrawal on their conditional use application, and we have posted that at the post box in Nesbitt as well as in Carroll, just so that if anybody hadn't already heard that, that is on the bulletin board. Prairie Mountain Health provided us their April and May newsletter. The Wawanesa Medical Clinic has forwarded a letter with respect to concerns re lab availability. So I didn't know if council wanted us to do anything in specific with that. And Way to Go Consulting has provided information that they could once again look after doing DFA claims, but last Darcy and I spoke, we didn't believe that we've had issues in this area that would require us to request disaster financial assistance.
I'll maybe just speak on the medical clinic side of it. I have had contact with Minister Cullen and asked for an update on it as to what is progressing through the health minister, etc. But we'd like to know what that is entailing as far as, are we going any farther with this thing? Are they pushing something, or what are we getting into? Because right now the diagnostic is not very good down here. So the letter is very well written. Doctors are concerned, so the doctor is concerned, we should be concerned.
Should we be sending a letter through our council as, you know, as our concern with what's been going on, or what the concern was sent to us? Would there be any merit to sending one to council?
You want a resolution for that?
If we were going to, yes.
Okay, so let's get through this and then you can make a motion. Okay, be it resolved that the above noted communications be received. So please move that. Councillor Corey, seconder. Councillor McDonald, all in favor?
Is this where I make that?
Sure.
Yes.
Motion to follow up with the letter outlining our concerns as well. Councillor Hargreaves, do you have a impact assessment?
I do.
Okay.
So I've just worded it that a letter from council be sent to the Minister of Health outlining municipal concerns.
What should we do with all the ones that were listed on that letter from the
The Minister of Health and everyone was on board.
the MLA is important too for the region? And the, obviously, Paramount Health.
Okay.
Okay, you should move that. Do you have a seconder? Councillor Hargreaves, all in favor? Okay, so, committee reports, we have written reports, Councillor Ward 3, South Zone, Councillor Corey, you have written report, anything to add?
Nothing for
Councillor Sodiak is away. North Zone, Councillor Hargreaves, you have a written report, anything to add?
Just I'm in contact with Darcy about roads and stuff, and a few people contacted me about RFL. Other than that, I'm pretty quiet.
Councillor Hatch, you have a written report?
Nothing further to add.
Councillor McDonald, police report?
Nothing further.
Mr. McGregor's there, is there. My report's there. The one item on it, we had Southwest Caucus had a meeting with the Minister Eileen Clark as well as the Deputy Premier, Minister Cullen, and a few others. It was well attended. About 20 of us from the Southwest area got to voice our concerns of what we're not getting in the Southwest and why we're concerned. They did a good job of listening, and we'll see what happens as we go forward with it. But it was a joint effort by the Southwest Caucus, and I think it was, obviously they see something that's there because they're the ones that phoned us and asked us for a meeting. So we're getting our voice anyway. So. CAO's report, anything to add?
I would just add that I attended a meeting with surrounding municipalities and RCMP representatives yesterday at the RM of Cornwallis office. And basically it was the RCMP's opportunity to review their goals and objectives and what areas they will be kind of focusing on over the next little while. I did draw it to the RCMP attention that they would likely get a letter from us today or an email from us today following an item on our agenda with respect to monitoring speed coming into Wawanesa. And I would note that the RCMP had said that folks don't have to wait and bring it through the municipality, that getting a phone call on it would open a file and give them the opportunity when staff permits to be out in this area. So.
Finance Officer, Elaine, you have anything to add?
Nothing.
Public Works?
Nothing to add.
I see we're up.
Could
Wait.
I just have a question, Darcy, the grader, any update on the grader that's in Winnipeg?
Still at 20%. I'll find out more today, but there's supposed to go in more to drop off that cylinder we borrowed from it, so.
Right, okay, yeah,
But I'll follow up later this afternoon
good,
and make sure they need it for tomorrow for troubleshooting.
thank you.
Of course, we got, see our water use has gone up again, obviously from maybe the frost coming out of the ground.
We have a leak that they haven't been able to find at this point.
Yeah. Okay, Fire Chief reports there. Be it resolved that the verbal and written reports be received. Please move that. Councillor McDonald, seconder. Councillor Hatch, all in favor? So we're to bylaws. Be it resolved that bylaw number 26-2022 to amend ice plant renovation bylaw number 14-2021 related to amounts after prepayment and interest rates be read a second time. Please move that. Councillor Hargreaves, second Councillor McDonald. Discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved that bylaw number 26-2022 be read a third and final time. So please move that. Councillor Hargreaves, seconder Councillor Hatch. This is a recorded vote. All in favor? Be it resolved that bylaw number 29-2022, being a bylaw to amend indemnity bylaw number 05-2018 with respect to review of indemnities and per diem, be read a second time. So please move that. Councillor Hargreaves, seconder. Councillor McDonald, discussion.
Discussion on this is that we did not give ourselves a raise, is that what this?
Well, this allows us to change it.
Change it, yeah.
Lower it or whatever the case may be. Yeah. All in favor? Great. Be it resolved that bylaw number 29-2022 be read a third and final time. Please move that. Councillor McDonald, seconder. Councillor Hatch. This is a recorded vote. All in favor? Unanimous. Be it resolved that bylaw number 30-2022, being the 2022 tax levy bylaw, be read a second time. Sorry, please move that. Councillor Hargreaves, seconder. Councillor Corey, discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved that bylaw number 30-2022 be read a third and final time. Sorry, please move that. Councillor Hatch, seconder. Councillor McDonald, this is a recorded vote. All in favor? Unanimous. Be it resolved that bylaw number 31-2022 to amend bylaw number 12-2021 related to the dates of the survey be read a second time. So please move that. Councillor Corey, second Councillor Hargreaves. Discussion. All in favor? Great. Be it resolved that bylaw number 31-2022 be read a third and final time. Please move that. Councillor McDonald, seconder. Councillor Hatch, this is a recorded vote. All in favor? Okay. Are you caught up?
I am.
Fast. Okay, be it resolved that individuals or community organizations wishing to provide support to Ukrainian refugees be directed to manitoba4ukraine.ca for the latest information on donations, supplies needed, and immigration sponsorship. You want to leave that there?
We'll leave it at that for that one.
That part. So you please move that. Councillor McDonald, seconder. Councillor Hatch, discussion. So we're just directing them to, if they want to make a donation, that's where you go.
And correct, if I could, because we did have residents wanting to know what the municipality was doing and they had an interest in assisting. At our Association of Manitoba Municipalities Convention, I did have an opportunity to speak to our AMM Executive Director, and he said because things are kind of constantly changing, the province of Manitoba has got this website up there, and they are keeping it up to date with what is needed. And so they suggested that individuals go through that opportunity to see what is needed and what they would have to do. In particular, I think immigration sponsorship. We've just recently heard that there are a few families that are getting moved into Manitoba. So if somebody has an interest in assisting with that, either language or if they've got space available or whatever, that is the place to go and to assist.
All in favor? Be it resolved that a donation in the amount of, being blank.
I'll tell you why I've left it blank.
Okay.
Because under general business, we have received a request for sponsorship of $25 for a free Tuesday, which allows people to access the museum without paying their admittance fee. If council decided that you were willing to sponsor a Tuesday, that would mean that the amount in our unallocated grant budget would be $800. Otherwise, it would be $825.
So you want to put the allocated amount in there and
We could
deal with it, and deal with it from that point.
We could put it as $800, see what council does with the other request, and if need be, we could.
So be it resolved that a donation amount of $800 representing the unallocated grant budget amount be set to the Canadian Red Cross for the Ukraine. Can we please move that? No mover? There's no mover? Okay. Wish to move it, or do you want to discuss?
Well, I'll move it so we
Okay.
can discuss it.
Seconder? Okay, I'm just gonna second it. So discussion?
I guess all I wanted to bring up was, I had been in touch with Warren Ellis, who had brought the subject to council before. He and I both did a little bit of research. I meant to talk to him before this meeting, but it's been probably 3 weeks since I spoke to him, so I don't know if there's anything municipality specific, you might say, that's going on there, but I don't know whether that affects this or not, whether we would want to save that money for if anything was happening in our municipality or not, but I guess that's one thing we might want to consider.
Yes. Councilor.
So we have not, this is new grant money, right, that we're talking about here?
No, it's unallocated, so it's already in our budget.
No, but we have not
We haven't
previously.
used it, no.
So, but the $25 is the museum wants us to,
That's
so we're talking two different things here on
Yes.
this, right?
That's
So that's not included
That's
in
not
this
included
conversation.
here.
No, but it would, if council decided to do the $25, it would change the amount of the unallocated
To 800.
budget amount, because right now it is sitting at $825.
I think like Sean said, my concern is if we got something going on in our community or something is, I'd be a little more inclined to lean towards something like that,
I just feel our provincial and federal governments are doing lots already, and I just don't think the little amount we're gonna put in, I think we could make our money go a lot further locally. That's my feeling.
But the $25 for to sponsor the museum for.
Well, that'll be dealt with here.
Okay,
So, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, under general business, be it resolved that a conditional use application number C3/22 to allow a non-farm dwelling on agriculture general zone in the northeast quarter 13/8/19 WPM Dixon be approved without conditions. Please move that. Councilor Hargreaves, second by Councilor McDonald. Discussion? All in favor? Be resolved that minor variation application number V5/22 to increase the non-farm parcel size from 10.0 acres to 11 acres in the ag agricultural general zone for property located in northeast quarter 13/8/19 WPM Dixon be approved without conditions. Please move that. Councilor McDonald, second Councilor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Okay, be it resolved that conditional use application number C4/22 to allow a secondary suite to a principal dwelling in the ag agricultural general zone on southwest quarter 5/8/18 WPM Hargreaves be approved without conditions. So you please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Motion. Okay, be it resolved that a $25 sponsorship donation be made to the Sipperley Museum in support of its Free Tuesday admission campaign. Somebody please move that. Councilor Corey, seconder. Councilor McDonald, discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved that administration be requested to monitor commissioner authority in the event that the province of Manitoba authorizes the commissioners to enforce regulations on vehicular traffic. It's a hard word to say. Let's leave them all. Let me please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Hargreaves, discussion?
Yeah, I have some discussion on this, please? Or-
Certainly. So we had received a request that we prohibit these types of break in coming into Wawanesa. In order to do that, we would have to have a bylaw that we can enforce. Currently, we use the commissionaires for bylaw enforcement. They do not in this province have authority to pull over or stop trucks, whether it's for speeding, for weight, for engine retardant brakes. I did check with the RCMP, and the Highway Traffic Act indicates that communities can prohibit them, but it has to be by bylaw, and the RCMP does not enforce municipal bylaws. So if we were to do this, we have no method of enforcing it. If council chooses to put up a sign that we have no authority to enforce, I guess that is your call to make. But at this time, I think the best we could do is keep watch. The commissionaires were having discussions with the province, because there are other provinces, I believe Alberta is one of them, where they do have authority to act kind of as peace officers. So that was where this recommendation came from, is that as it currently stands, we don't have the ability to prohibit.
So why don't we just put up a couple signs on each side of the hill that say,
Prohibit.
no exhaust brakes in town limits?
I've seen those signs quite often in municipalities. I mean, it's been done. How successful it is, I don't know. It's like the speed signs. You can put them up, or people adhering to it. And
I would say I've abided by them until now, until I know that we can enforce them.
it does bring it to your attention. So,
Was there one person that had a complaint, or many, or
No, it was one concern that was raised.
was it because all these trucks haul this gravel through here in the winter, maybe?
I gotta tell you, I don't think.
There's a phenomenal amount of truck traffic through here.
When you hear because we're in a valley, and from my experience, if you're outside when trucks are coming and they put on their jig brake, you can hear it echoing in the whole valley. So my theory is like Craig, I think we put up a couple signs, even if it stops a few of them, you know, it's not, even without enforcement, at least.
It is an ugly hill for a truck perspective,
Well, both of them.
both of them. And so it might force them to slow down at the top of the hill sooner.
But where would we be able to put that sign? I can go to the top of the hill on this, on 340, before coming down.
Technically, that's.
That's not our
limits.
That's not our limits.
Once we cross the river, so then.
By that time, they're going to use them.
Getting permission from highways.
So you want this amended to read that, or do you want to have a separate one?
That would substantially change this motion.
Okay.
So either approve this and we keep that and then add another motion, or defeat this one and do something
Well,
different.
this one is just, all you're doing is monitoring.
Yeah,
You're not
I'm
doing,
keeping
there's
an
no
eye on-
action really.
No, I'm
involved
keeping
in
an
it.
eye on it anyway.
Yeah, so I don't know that is really a required solution.
And maybe at this point, we see if there is any more complaints.
Yeah.
You know, like, it was just, this winter was, I mean,
Load of trucks.
It was bad.
almost 200 trucks a day going through here.
Yeah.
So maybe it won't be big a deal.
Okay, we can keep an eye on
That's
that and
right,
see if
that's
we
right.
hear anything else.
Yeah, if there's more complaints, I think maybe we look at putting signs up or something, but.
Anything else? All in favor? Okay, be it resolved that the January 1st to March 31st, 2022 RCMP policing report as previously distributed be received. Someone please move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Hatch, discussion. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the proposed ExploreNet project identified as a Hayfield Road North plan as outlined in the correspondence from JDB Project Engineering dated April 25th, 2022, be approved subject to any proposed deviation outside of the 0.8 meters shall be confirmed the person on site with the Public Works Manager and installation crew prior to installing the conduit, and no fiber optic being installed over top of the culvert or drainage structure. Somebody please move that. No, okay, Councillor Hatch is approved moving it. Seconder, Councillor Corey. Discussion?
So there's a proposed tower going up?
No, this is
Fiber optic.
fiber optic.
You're just doing this after the fact, right?
They're just going along our boundary line and then ducking back into Cornwallis. So they're coming off number 10, going west.
Down Hayfield.
No, like it'd be west of Lake Clemente Road. And then they're heading north.
So it's not in our, basically just,
It's just on our boundary, so.
they're not doing anything in our municipality other than put the line.
All in favor? Great. Okay, graduation ceremonies. Let's put a name in there. Be it resolved that Councillor McGregor attend the graduation ceremony at Wawanesa School on June 27th at 4 p.m. And
Should we say if available?
if available, yes, I guess we better do that. He's not here. Is there anybody else interested in Brandon one?
I'm always supposed to go to Cirrus, but I haven't been there yet. No,
I'm sure it's not doing it.
Cirrus has advised that the way they've handled it over the last couple of years has worked very well for them. And so they weren't requesting anybody to be in attendance. And of course, the Brandon one, we won't know until we know which school the recipient is coming from to know what date and time they would be.
If there is a recipient.
Yes,
I've gone years without.
yes, we have.
So maybe we'll just do the one for Wawanesa and leave the one open for Brandon. What do you
How
think?
about we just say that an available counselor?
Attend graduation ceremony, Brandon?
How about an available member of council?
Sure.
Okay,
Please move that. Councillor Corey, seconder. Councillor Hargraves. Discussion, all in favor? Be it resolved that the administration be directed to contact the RCMP with respect to monitoring speed on PR 340 in the vicinity of Government Road. Will you please move that? Councillor McDonald, seconder. Councillor Hatch, seconder. Discussion. I'm not sure that this is the way to do that, but the RCMP are saying they should be called. I think that's where that person should be directed to.
and I think what I will do is I will respond back, letting them know that we are doing this, but that the conversation with the RCMP was that individuals can certainly call and open the file without it involving us as kind of the mediary, or our concern doesn't carry any more weight than an individual resident.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, whereas equipment breakdowns were prevalent during the previous winter, and whereas adjacent municipalities as well as numerous residents within the municipality assisted in road clearing efforts with no expectation of reimbursement, and whereas while greatly appreciated, there is no policy or budget allocations for acts of goodwill, therefore be it resolved that the refund request from Dell and Terry Winters be denied. Please move that. Councillor Hargraves, seconder. Councillor Corey, discussion? Do you want to?
Councillor.
When I read through this, I just have a concern, because if we start this, then it'll be, in a winter like this, we had many residents that would open up a piece of road or do what they could, and it's, it wasn't directed by council, so that's.
Well, every effort should be made by our Public Works Department to get all that work done. And that's just a very unusual winter, and it's something that happened, but it's just, I don't think that if we get into this kind of situation, we're gonna have people just clearing a driveway and saying, I went there because this person couldn't get over, or whatever. I think it opens up, it's a slippery slope.
yeah, I've opened lots of roads and never thought once of asking for reimbursement.
It's
so
just a neighborly kind
It's
of
just
thing,
kind of
right?
something you do, and yeah, this winter in our greater situation really was bad, but I think it starts something that, I'm not sure how you stop it after, I guess.
All in favor? Okay, whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, emergency management, and services are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Manitoba and the municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated effort of public works professionals who are first responders and the engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, children in Manitoba, and Municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa to gain knowledge of and maintain ongoing interest and understanding the importance of public works first responders and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2022 marks the 62nd annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Society, or Association rather, therefore be it resolved that the Municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa hereby designate the week May 15th to 21st, 2022 as National Public Works Week, and urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association / Canadian Public Works Association and government agencies and activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. Can you please move that? Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Hatch, discussion? All in favor? Was that, missing something on that last one?
So this one just came in. If I could give a little bit of
Yeah, maybe give some
background
background on that,
information.
if you wouldn't mind.
So this is the area, the people who rent the Crown land have in previous years done a bit of a cleanup, depending on what the need for it is. So we made payment of $200 in 2015, and we made payment of $200 in 2018.
But is that not Nesbit? Not Trees Bank?
Their request calls it Trees Bank. It's actually from our Oakland.
It's just off Trees Bank Road.
Yes.
I guess.
Okay, that's why they call it that, okay.
So I kept
Sorry.
it, yeah, that's fine. I kept it worded the same way their request was worded. Darcy was going to take a walk around and see what kind of winter, I guess, we've had as to whether or not a cleanup is required.
There's some, yeah, that you can see.
But we always contributed to
Yeah.
that site every year that I can remember, or at least I should, last couple anyway.
We did it in 2015 and 2018.
Oh, I thought we did it every year. I remember just not that long, wasn't it?
Those were the only two payments that we have found, and
He's
the
probably done it too.
Mr. Jones had said that it had been more of an annual thing at one point. Probably a case of me coming into the municipality. If somebody didn't make the request, I probably wasn't aware that it was something that we typically did. And so
When
Mr.
did we
Jones is
start?
requesting it.
It wasn't under Jones, so it wasn't under.
No, it was McDougall, I believe.
Google, yeah.
Yeah,
And
this
this-
before I was on council, I'm guessing the request.
Oh, really?
When did we start? October 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably requested before then, so I can't say we've ever had the request since I've been here.
No,
I remember. it, so-
and this is, and it would have been probably 2018 for sure that you would
But it
remember.
wasn't Google, so.
Yes, and I believe that Mr. Jones has taken over the rental of the Crown lands.
So,
So if council is wanting to go that route, it would be it resolved that Mr. Jones be reimbursed $200 for cleanup of the
surrounding area.
Yeah, surrounding
Government
area.
land.
What's your thoughts, Darcy? I remember you, I haven't been to the dump for a while.
Yeah, I thought let's go around, there is stuff there for sure, so.
You know, I guess if it averages out to $50 a year, that's only hiring someone for 3 hours kind of thing a year. And maybe if we're wanting people to keep their properties clean, that maybe we should also have the same responsibility.
So for that $200, he's gonna clean it?
Yeah, he goes around and does the pickup of any debris that is
Outside
thrown
our
that
fire
way.
or yard site. So if somebody move that? Counselor Hargreaves, second to Counselor Corey. All in favor? Be it resolved, this meeting is now adjourned to meet again on Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 at 9 a.m. at the municipal office in Wawanesa. Somebody please move that. Counselor McDonald, second to Counselor Hatch. All in favor? Carried.